It's finally done. After an entire month of working on this. Like, at first the sleeves were long, but I cut them down to size, but look at how nice. Everything is so official. It was a long time coming to get to this point, but there's still more to come. But let's backtrack to see where it all began. Alright, it's the next day, in case you haven't noticed by the clothes suddenly changing. I'm not going to be recording, I'm not going to be talking in this video, because the sewing machine is kind of loud, and you probably couldn't hear me anyways. So what I'm going to do is what I usually do with my patches, and just put audio over it. Please watch to the end of this video, because I have an announcement to make that hopefully goes really far so a lot of people can see. This jacket that you see right here, I've worked on this jacket, as you all know, for the past month or so, and this is something I want to take off. I don't really know how to start this story, but I am going to announce that I've already told this story before, and I'm going to continue telling it because I absolutely love telling the story, but I feel like that this is going to be the last time I tell the story. So let's get into it. So, as you guys know, I've made this Letterman jacket. This beautiful, well-colored varsity jacket, and I'm so proud of it. But this isn't where it ends. I plan to make more like this because it was an everlasting dream that I had a couple years ago. No, I wouldn't say couple. I mean, like a lot of years ago. I don't remember when I had the idea, but I know that I had it back in, like, late middle school, early high school. I've already announced in a video that I've uploaded onto YouTube, like, I think it was my first or second, it has to be my second upload that I've uploaded to YouTube as of recent, explaining why I'm doing this. And I know I got into detail, but because this is like the most official kind of video thing, I'm going to go ahead and tell it again in case I forgot some information or I wanted to get into depth or something. Back when I lived in Indiana, because currently I live in South Carolina, I had this idea that I wanted to make varsity jackets, and it started because I absolutely love the way varsity jackets look. I've always liked the way they look. People who worn them were in sports and whatnot. Unfortunately, I'm not athletic in the slightest and could never obtain one easily. But back then, I was like, oh, dang, anyone who wears them are really official. But, like, I love the style, of the size. It looked nice on everybody. And I always wanted one. But I barely could afford book fair money, let alone a whole varsity jacket. In fact, the only school item I've ever purchased, not I've ever purchased, but that I've ever obtained was, you know, the class rings that you get at the end of the year? Well, at the end of your school life. Well, I have one. It's not a class ring, it's a class necklace. And I got that from Mechanical High School in Indiana. I was really freaking happy and appreciative. I don't wear it as much as I should, but it's a class necklace that opens up, because when I got it, it was like, I didn't expect my mom to want to buy it. So I showed her the catalog book. I was like, I always wanted something. It's like, sure, you're fine, whatever, because you're graduating, so I might as well get you something. So I was ecstatic to get it. It was the biggest moment for me. Aside from that, I've always wanted a varsity jacket. That was something I've always liked, an authentic, real heavy-duty looking varsity jacket, because they look so cool. But I didn't want to just buy one just to buy one. I wanted to have one that was, like, made for me. But because I didn't have the money, because those things are like $300-400, I didn't get one. So unfortunately, I let that time pass. But, like, as I kept thinking about it, me wanting a varsity jacket, I came up with this brilliant idea that I would make myself one. In fact, I wanted to make it optional for everyone to get one, but not just like any varsity jacket. I'm talking custom made, handcrafted, designed varsity jackets specifically for the buyer. Ever since then, I had just been banking on this idea, but of course it was just an idea. Usually I don't really go off ideas because I have phases where I'm like, oh, I should do this, oh, I should do that, and so I was like, I'm probably not gonna ever like accomplish that, and still kind of thinking that, but at least I'm a step further. But yeah, I was like, yeah, I should totally do this. And I was telling my mom and my sister, and I was like, yo, this would be really cool. And they're like, oh yeah, that would be really cool, because you don't see that often. In fact, I've even looked it up, in which I'm actually thinking about doing a video where I can show you how limited customization websites are, which would be interesting, but not to like brag on them. I'll probably like provide links for you guys to play with it too. But anywho, yeah, they were totally supportive of the whole idea, and I was like, yeah, I'll totally do that. But like, I didn't have a job of my own. I didn't have a car of my own. I couldn't like obtain the materials to do it myself. So I just kept having it as an idea for like 2 or 3 years. I didn't finally get started on the idea of doing it until 2018-19. I did draw out designs online. I'll actually provide them in the video of how I wanted to go about doing it. Yes, I might have used images that did not belong to me, but as of right now, I'm planning on drawing my own images so I can use them as my own template to come up with colors and palettes and whatnot to work with to come up with designs for my jackets. But as of now, I only have the ones that technically don't belong to me. My apologies for being a thief last couple years ago. By the time I actually got started on anything like that, 2020, around November. So my sister's birthday was coming up, November 30th, and I was down here. They had both moved back up north. And I wanted to get them a gift, and I was like, maybe I could just draw out a design and have it printed on a shirt or something, but I had already did that the previous year. So I was like, I really want to come up with something a little bigger. Then, like, out of nowhere, I was like, you know what? I'm going to see if I can make that jacket. So I tried looking up online how to get the template for the jacket, and at the time, of course, I was still a little pirate, so I was like, no, I don't really want to spend money on this. But then I was like, I found myself not being able to find a pattern that was like high quality enough for me to work with, and I had no idea how to do it, so I was like, I'm gonna have to spend some money if I want this to look official. So that's what I did. I looked up on Etsy, and I found somebody selling the pattern. I was like, oh, this is perfect. So I bought it, and I got the PNG for it. It was a bit difficult printing out the PNG because it needed a Adobe Flash reader or something for it to read it, and then when it did read it and then print it, the patterns were coming out all boxy and square, so I couldn't actually cut out the patterns properly. So like 60, 90 pages of printing later, figured out what we had to do. We just had to like turn it into a PNG for us to be able to print it out. I got them printed out, and I got them cut out, and I got to work. By the time I had all my materials and idea of what to do, I kind of did everything last minute, so I wasn't able to get the proper materials. For example, instead of getting fasten buttons like these, I had the ones where you loop it through the fabric. I kind of had to rush everything kind of last minute because it was like toward the beginning, almost toward the middle of November, and I had to fly up north around Thanksgiving time. I was like, I can't waste time. And for a moment, as I'm sitting here looking for all my equipment, I started to believe that I wasn't able to get it done in time. Because it was kind of my silly self thinking I could pull off something like that last minute. But I was like really dedicated to trying to get it done. So when I found out that I couldn't find the proper buttons, I needed them to be gold, I was like, dang, I'm not going to get this jacket done. I might as well get the shirt done. So I was like, you know what? No, I'm just going to go ahead and buy the fasten buttons that I saw at Hobby Lobby and just use those. So I did. And about like a week and a half, I managed to finish the entire jacket. This took a month, by the way. Way longer than I had wanted it to, but this took practically a month. I take pictures. I wanted to record the process, but I was working with a phone that had a little space, so wasn't able to record the entire process. I did take pictures, but I don't think I have all the pictures anymore. I do have some still. But yeah, it took me roughly a week. And I was really proud of the work. I originally had to use, for like the letters, because this weird material is like, kind of like a yarn-ish kind of situation. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to use like a towel, terry cloth kind of texture. So I was like, I'll go ahead and just use a towel and felt. And I thought it was going to be easy, and it was not, because it came out kind of janky. And I was not really too happy about it, but it was my first actual attempt, so I was like, oh, this looks great. I packaged it in a box, made it look all fancy and stuff, and then I flown up north. And I'll try to provide a video of the reaction, but unfortunately my sister does not really like the idea of their face being exposed. So I don't know how I'm going to actually provide a video of it. I'll figure out something. I have no idea. But it was glorious. Their reaction was definitely something worth seeing. They knew that I was into that thing, but I guess I didn't like make it a big enough deal to show that I was really going to do it. So when they pulled up the jacket, everyone was like, oh wow, that's cool. And I was trying to tell them, yeah, I made that, but they weren't really comprehending the fact that I made it from scratch fabric, sewn it together, made a whole jacket from scratch kind of deal. And it took like 4 or 5 times to tell them that, yeah, that's the thing. And I also, when I went up there, had told them or wanted to get everybody's opinion on something, because I had asked some coworkers and friends for like ideas as well as to what the company name should be. And I had like a whole list of names. Oh, here they are. The list of names. Okay, so I came up with a list of words to try to make names into. I had Letterman, Lion, Leanne, Fandom, Custom, Varsity, Jock, LRT, which is my initials. Not my name initials, but my online initials. And Jacket. And so I came up with a couple different ones. Well, we all came up with a couple different ones. We have Jacket Jocks, Daily Dose of Patches, which I did not want to use because obviously I wasn't solely going to be working on patches. That's just a sub-product of my actual product. Fandom Lion Jackets. Let a Man Custom Jackets. I don't know what I was trying to say there. Custom Fandom Jacket Jockets, which is supposed to be a play on words. And Lion Jocks, which I kind of like, but, you know, I'm not going to use it. But the one we went with that I didn't say in this list that had the most amount of stars was Let's Jack It Up. I wanted it to be not really a play on words, but kind of fun. I absolutely love it when people try to come up with like creative ways to use words into a sentence that also comes up with a name. So Let's Jack It Up was mine. And so that's what I went with. It's pretty cool. I already have like a logo for it. Can't see it on my jacket, but it's there. I guess I could now talk about the journey between my last jacket and this jacket. So, as you know, it took me a week to do the last jacket, and it was my first prototype. I was really hoping that the jacket I'm wearing now was going to be my final design, but unfortunately it's going to take way more than 2 tries. I'm kind of a perfectionist, so I kind of assume that, oh, I know exactly what I'm doing, so I don't need to. But which I should probably mention before I get too far into this, that I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know how everything's going to react. I don't know how to do anything. I've gotten this far, and my jackets look great for somebody who's never done this before, but of course I could do better. I've never gone to college for this, or schools for this. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing what I can anyways. A difference between what I did when I made the last jacket and this jacket was very, very different. First off, I got a brand new sewing machine. My boyfriend got it for me last Christmas, and I needed a new sewing machine because I knew my current sewing machine was not going to hold up the task. Second thing I did differently was I took my time. And that's when I really realized how much time is needed to make this jacket, and I'm pretty sure it's going to require even more time, because this jacket still looks rushed despite me taking an entire month on it. There are some very obvious, noticeable differences and errors and changes. If I had maybe read a manual on how to make this jacket or watched a video of how they made a jacket, maybe it might look a little different. But of course, I'm getting better every time because this jacket is so much different from the last one. Third thing, well, I'm not going to sit there and list them off because I don't know how many differences there is. I'm just kind of winging it as I go. I'm not a scripted person. But I did notice, but one thing I did have to do was get different fabric. This fabric is, I can't remember what it's called. It's supposed to be sweatshirt material with terry cloth on the inside. I did not want this fabric, but I couldn't find the color that I wanted in this material. I will not be using this fabric again because it stretches too much, and so it's hard to keep the fabric in place while you're sewing it. I did get this beautiful blue, like, lining stuff to go on the inside of the jacket, and while it was cool to have it throughout the entire jacket, I feel like it's a lot easier to just do it with the vest part instead of the entire jacket. The cuffs, definitely different from the last ones. This is a lot thinner than the cuffs I used on my previous jacket, but it's fine. So, there were some major differences between the last jacket and this jacket. Last time I only had like 2 weeks to work on the jacket, so I tried to hurry up and rush everything. So I was only able to get the lining for the back of the jacket. This was my first one, by the way. Lining for the back of the jacket. I wanted to try to make the letters myself, which apparently requires more equipment that I am capable of using. A special embroidering machine is used to make these letters, and I don't have that. There is ways to hand do it that takes way longer, and I do not know even the slightest thing on how to do that, so I'd just rather buy it from somebody else. So, the fabric I used on my first jacket was fleece, because that was the closest thing I could get my hands on, and that's what I had to work with. Don't want to use fleece, ever. It's too stretchy and fluffy, and it's kind of hard to work with. But, I think this is pretty well done for, like, a fall, early winter kind of jacket. Only because I added liners throughout the entire thing. When I made my last jacket, it was a size large. And when I put it on, it was a little small on me. Because it was my first attempt, I kind of made my inseam, which is when you sew along the edge, how much extra fabric is just hanging off, that the excess fabric that doesn't need to exist. I had it almost like half an inch, if not an entire inch. So part of the fabric for the jacket was wasted, and so it made the jacket smaller. If I had gone with a large and sewed it really close to the edge, I'm pretty sure I could have fit it, and that took away a lot of the size. This time around, I had a brand new sewing machine that could sew on the edge and add extra threading to keep the edge from fraying, and it was kind of annoying to work with because, again, the stretchy fabric was not cooperating, but it gave a whole lot of extra room, and I think I would have been better off making myself a regular or a large. I also, these are men's size. I don't plan to make women's kind. If like a small woman wants to have a jacket, I'll give them a small or a medium. But I find that when it comes to making women clothes, it's very form-fitting. And I don't want to mess up something because somebody asks for a medium and somehow parts of it's too small for them to fit. If I go for if I go for men's clothing, I have a lot more wiggle room and a lot more room for error. Not that you'd probably notice, but if I do make an error, if I make something a little too small, it won't be so noticeable that you can't wear it. So, plans are, I'm most likely going to be sticking with men's jackets, unless someone really wants a female jacket, but I most likely won't go for that. No, sorry to upset anyone who really wants a female jacket, but that's my plan. I want to make men's jackets. Mainly what I plan to do with the jackets in the future is just changing the fabric, like the outside fabric and how much of the inside fabric I'm going to use. I don't really have a game plan for any of this, because this kind of came out almost, it's close, but not quite very close to how the official design is going to be. This is a lot way more official looking than the last jacket, and I'm actually proud of how this came out. I have no idea how far this is going to take me. I don't have no idea if this is going to be a phase that eventually dies out. Every day I worry that this is going to be a phase I'm going to eventually drop, or afraid that like a couple years down the line where I'm actually getting somewhere, I realize, oh, I'm not even interested in it. I never knew it was going to be this much work. I don't know if I want to continue doing it, and I lock up and I stop. I don't want to. I'm honestly surprised that I'm actually still in it after this many years, because I could very much just like throw in the towel and call it quits, but I'm not. I have no advice to give to people who are trying to start out, because hell, I'm still trying to start out, and I don't think I've very much gotten anywhere. People watching, my family, of course, are like, oh, you've grown. I don't know what's going to happen from a year from now, given the fact that when I probably upload this video, it'll probably be New Year's Day, because it's going to take so long to edit and everything figured out. But this is the last jacket of the year, obviously. So I'm thinking to myself, how would my stuff look a year from now? So I'm here. This is the video specifically for you. We have holiday music playing. I am hosting a contest. As I've said in the beginning of the video, I am hosting a contest for your chance to win a varsity jacket like mine. I want this to be a thing. I want to make these things official for people to purchase, not my jacket, but jackets like this, where it's based off something they really like and they get to finally express themselves through jacket. So there is a chance for you guys to win. Well, not you guys, but unfortunately one person to win this varsity jacket. And the way to do that is a little complicated because this jacket isn't easy to make. So to win this jacket, I want you to invent something. Now, it doesn't have to be like revolutionary, brand new, that is never seen, the walk of life. It can literally just be like a life hack. Take something that you've seen in life and like, oh, this is more complicated than it needs to be. How could you make it easier? How could you cheat life? How could you cheat a process to cut time in half but still come up with the same result, if not better? Create something. Either invent something or change something that already exists to make it easier and beneficial for everyone. And if you do it good enough, you get to win yourself a jacket. So from the beginning of January to the end of January, I want you guys to come up with either a life hack or an invention. Like, write it out, record it, do whatever you can to show how it works. And you could win yourself a jacket. So there are a little bit of rules. I might post information but in the description down below. It could be as simple as changing something that already exists to make it easier, to cut work in half and still get the product done and out there the same way, if not better. There is more to this contest, however, it does not really pertain to the jacket part. It's just a bonus. If you can, it'd be very much appreciated. I will be posting videos on my YouTube channel, this YouTube channel. In those videos will be one secret word. There's going to be 5 videos altogether with one secret word each, and that secret word forms a sentence. However, they will not be posted in order. If someone is able to watch all the videos and get all the secret words and put them into a sentence and then DM me on Facebook or Instagram of the entire sentence, they will win 3 free patches. Here are some examples of my work. The contest will be posted on my Facebook and Instagram. I'll provide those links down below if you want to read the rules and regulations of all that stuff and know how to go about doing the contest. To all those who are entering the contest, I wish you guys all the best of luck. I can't wait to see what entries, if there's any. I would appreciate if you guys try to enter. And thank you all for watching this video. I hope the best from now until 2023. See where it's gonna go. And yeah, pretty much it. I don't have an outro, but thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, I suppose. And may the best winner win the coolest jacket ever.